Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into something absolutely foundational. We're looking at a document that serves as a literal roadmap for the future of education, the 2023 Saudi Arabian English Language Area Standards. Now, if you've ever wondered exactly how a nationwide curriculum is built from the ground up to take a learner from their very first ABCs all the way to global fluency, well, you are in the right place. We're going to unpack how this incredibly detailed framework functions as a comprehensive architectural blueprint for educators, administrators, and parents alike. Okay, let's dive right into this. The official second edition of the English Language Area Standards, issued in 2023 by the Education and Training Evaluation Commission, is a lot more than just a list of vocabulary words to memorize. It's a structural masterpiece. It lays out the exact foundations and guiding principles, all built on modern scientific research in teaching and learning English. You can really think of it as the master blueprint, ensuring every single classroom is building toward the exact same high-level outcomes.
And let me tell you, those outcomes have massive stakes. As this quote straight from the document's introduction points out, the core why behind this entire curriculum is tied directly to the Kingdom's Vision 2030 and the Human Capacity Development Program. The ultimate goal here? Preparing globally competitive learners. The framework completely rejects the idea of English as just another school subject to pass. Instead, it frames language mastery as a vital vehicle for global competitiveness, empowering a whole new generation to actually thrive on the world stage.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the vision for English learning. Second, the core learning structure. Third, integrating skills and values. And finally, classroom action for grade 1. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Vision for English Learning, Preparing Global Citizens.
You know, it's super important to realize this vision goes way beyond your basic grammar rules and everyday vocab. The framework explicitly points out that English is the language of international scientific conferences, forums, publishing, and research across countless fields. It's basically a master key, and mastering it unlocks the learner's ability to actively jump into global scientific communities, collaborate internationally, and ultimately prep for their future careers. It is entirely focused on real-world, high-level application far outside the traditional classroom walls.
Moving right along to Section 2, the core learning structure, unpacking the model.
So how exactly does this blueprint pull off such a massive vision? Well, let's play tour guide for a second and decode the architecture. Notice how this interconnected circular structure works. It's actually not a top-down list at all. It's more like a wheel where everything, from general skills to specific language aspects, wraps around these core central goals. This brilliant design ensures that every single lesson is essentially multitasking.
If we distill that down, the whole structure really hinges on 5 integrated pivotal ideas. First, you've got your classic 4 basic skills, right? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But, and this is crucial, it adds a 5th, language aspects. That covers grammar and word knowledge, meaning vocabulary, sentence structures, and sounds. The framework dictates that a learner absolutely must master all 5 of these pieces together to actually communicate effectively, whether that's personal or social. Now, all 5 of those components are driven by what are called the 3 C's, a concept derived from the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages. We're talking about communication, connection, and community. Communication is all about using these skills in real life. Connection means tying English to other subjects, like using it to learn math or science. And community focuses on interacting efficiently in multilingual environments using research and digital tools. Honestly, this is a huge pedagogical shift. It takes the focus completely off just passing a written test and puts it squarely on lifelong learning and genuine real-world application. That brings us to Section 3, Integrating Skills and Values, the Educational Ecosystem. Okay, this is probably one of the most pleasantly surprising parts of the whole blueprint. English is basically used as a Trojan horse to teach much broader essential life skills. Just look at how they target general skills. For digital skills, students use technology and English to research and problem solve. Under health and practical skills, they're learning financial practices, using realistic English conversations to teach financial planning, spending management, and saving. Because hey, it's never too early for a 6-year-old to start thinking about their 401k, right? And for social and emotional skills, they're using the language to learn how to express ideas clearly and make collaborative decisions. It is just a brilliantly efficient educational ecosystem. And it absolutely doesn't stop at skills, it weaves in deep-rooted values too. The framework specifically integrates things like perseverance and determination, honesty and justice, national belonging, mastery and discipline, and moderation and tolerance.
Think about it. Just taking on the difficult task of learning a second language naturally builds perseverance. By sticking to the rules during an educational activity, students aren't just memorizing grammar, they are literally practicing mastery and discipline in real time.
So all this high-level educational theory is super fascinating, but it begs a pretty huge question. What does this actually look like in grade 1? I mean, how on earth do you teach global competitiveness and financial literacy through English to a 6-year-old? Let's pivot from the heavy theory to some grounded, classroom reality.
Welcome to our final section, Classroom Action Grade 1, From Blueprint to Reality. This is where we bring that massive architectural blueprint all the way down to earth to see what a young learner actually experiences on a day-to-day basis. These structured grading matrices neatly organize that grand national vision into very specific, bite-sized, measurable tasks for both teachers and students. You can clearly see how broad concepts like listening or interpersonal communication are broken all the way down into granular sub-performance standards that perfectly match what a first grader can handle.
When we pull out specific examples from these early childhood standards, you really see how practical and, honestly, charming the execution is. For oral communication, a first grader learns to name body parts through motion or pictures. For writing, they're tracing letters and learning the difference between upper and lowercase. For listening, they're echoing simple songs, rhymes, and chants. It is highly engaging, age-appropriate play that is, kind of incredibly, secretly pouring the concrete foundation for those massive Vision 2030 goals. Every single nursery rhyme they sing is literally a deliberate step on that blueprint.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We've seen how meticulously structured this whole framework is, from grand ideas of global competitiveness down to the specific songs a 6-year-old sings. This isn't just a document for policymakers, it's a guide for all of us invested in education. So my question to you is, how will you apply the insights from this blueprint to empower the next generation of global citizens in your own homes, classrooms, or communities? Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.